Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. We take psychological, social, and emotional topics and break them down into discernible language as easily as we can. Today, we're going to talk about what about when you're dealing with inner self sabotage? What are some of the causes? How does it manifest itself? We'll get about a half dozen of those, and we're going to go through those now. Please like, subscribe, comment below if that's something that you're willing and feel comfortable in doing. So everybody's got inner demons. Everybody's got things that they'd rather not remember, things they'd rather not think about, things that drive them to be self-sabotaging, all that kind of stuff. So if you wake up every day and you feel like life is just too hard to handle, too hard to bear, and that's a sign that you're dealing with inner regret. And that regret can sometimes be from months ago, or even years ago, or even decades ago. It also means that there's a higher than likely chance that you may be dealing with some moderate to severe depression if you stay in that state for more than a couple of weeks at a time. And so you may want to talk with somebody, work with a coach, work with a counselor, work with somebody to help you figure out how to manage that. Because life is difficult sometimes when we focus on the wrong things, but for the most part, life should be neutral to easy when we've got it figured out, right? Now, we may find life difficult because we're not getting what we want, but we can always change our focus and reset towards getting what we need, and then kind of recalibrate what it is that we want to work on. And so when life is too hard, it's worth um, kind of reevaluating your goals and all that kind of stuff. So the next one is if you just feel off, if something's going to go wrong today, man, just today ain't going to be my day, and that's the constant feeling you have. You kind of have a feeling of dread, or you're nervous, or you're uncomfortable. This is a sign that you may be dealing with some moderate to severe anxiety, because anxiety is the mental misnomer that it's two things. One, something's always going to go wrong. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong, and it will go wrong to me. And two, that it's the misnomer that you don't have control over how you respond or react to things. Yes, you cannot control the events that happen around and to you, but you can always, 100% of the time, deal with your responses, and measure those, and focus on making those the best they can possibly be. The next one is if you feel shame or regret. So we all make mistakes. We all say the wrong thing. Sometimes we do the wrong thing. And that comes with a whole bag of emotions that's no fun. Shame and regret being two of the primary. Challenges with that is because we don't often work on self-forgiveness until we're in a relationship with a coach, a counselor, whatever, that helps us to do that. We'll hold on to the idea that we're broken, or that we always do bad things, say the wrong thing, we don't belong, we're an outsider, and we hold on to these things for far, far too long. And so that's where shame comes from, is the regret of the things we could have done differently, with hindsight knowing that we could have made a difference in another way. Next thing is fear of failure. So this misnomer that we're ever going to be perfect is taught in childhood, and oh, you're so good, you got an A. Oh, you're so good, you got elected to the student council. Oh, you're so talented, you get to do the piano recital. And independently as a concept, those are all great things, and I'm not saying don't celebrate your kids, and I'm not saying that as parents it isn't part of our job to encourage kids to do the best they can. And as kids, it's our job, and young people and teenagers and the like, it's our job to do the best we can to get the most out of every experience. However, you will fail. The concept of failure is I fall short because I don't have knowledge. I fall short because I don't have experience. I fall short for any number of reasons. The fear of failure, though, can actually paralyze a person into emotional or physical or mental inaction, which can take years off a person's productiveness and quality of life. And it's just really sad because you don't have to be in that position, but a lot of people put themselves there. If you're dealing with fear of failure, working with somebody can help you see, wait a second, even if I fail, I can still recover. And the root cause of dealing with failure is the understanding in simplest totality that yes, you can still recover regardless of what happens to you. It's about the recovery and about how you get back on your feet that really matters in the long run anyways. But that's, something that every person needs to learn for themselves and work through on their own. The next one is negative self-talk. So we all talk to ourselves all day long. Some of us out loud, some of us not. I'm in a situation where right now I'm living in an environment where I can talk to myself verbally, and I do it all day. I do it because it's easier for me to remember things. I do it because not having another person in my living space, it gets quiet sometimes, and I do better with sound. But we all talk to ourselves, sometimes in our head, sometimes outside our head, whatever the case may be. But the content of that conversation, be it neutral, neutral is the best place to be because it means you can allow all emotions to come forward. Negative, not so good because then we sabotage ourselves. Or positive, very good because then we can move ourselves forward. So if you constantly have negative self-talk, that can be an inner demon. You do have to take each one of those thoughts or thought patterns and replace it with a positive, actually a neutral thought and then a positive thought. And then you can reset yourself away from doing that. Some people can do that in a couple of months. Other people take 6 months to a year. It depends on how long you've had negative self-talk. It's a central part of your human experience. The last one is a flood of negative emotions. For people who don't deal with emotions well or were taught not to express their emotions, what'll generally happen is it stores up, and then it explodes. And then what happens is you're flooded with every negative emotion you've ever thought about, ever experienced, or ever thought you could have. It happens all at once, and then you basically vomit word salad in the general direction of someone you think might care, or you swallow it all over again, making it worse. This is actually where a lot of violent crime comes from. People who have negative emotions that they never express, and then they get angry at another person. There's a target, and they're physically abusive. They're mentally abusive. They're emotionally abusive. And to a greater degree, where do you think the root cause of serial killers and shooters come from? They never learned to, school shooters and all that. They never learned how to expel and express negative emotion in a way that works for them. Obviously, the end result being danger to everybody in the community. And so it's super important if you know that you've got that inner demon of flooding yourself with negative emotions because you fear rejection or you just don't feel that anyone's going to listen. You find that one person, a counselor, a coach, a minister, a friend, anybody to listen and be judicious and be serious about making those conversations a multiple part of your week and maybe even daily for a while if you've just gone through trauma, because that's the beginning of resetting your trauma core. So hopefully this audio has been helpful to you. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.